What's up guys, welcome to Millennium and Actual. Today I'm excited to put together a 3-part series for you covering emergency food kits. Now, the very first one I'm going to start off with is $100. Now, the reason I put this together is we've all seen what can happen, especially after 2020. The shelves can clear out quick, and in today's day and age with technology and everyone's in a hurry everywhere, we push everything to the last minute for the most part. I know a lot of people who eat out for every single meal, or they only have their fridge stocked for a couple of days and then they run out. And I don't know about you, but I hate being hungry. I always like to have food on hand. So if there's a cheap way for me to make sure that I don't have to go hungry, I'm gonna try and look into it and take advantage of it. So basically what I put together are 3 levels of emergency food kits, starting with level 1, which anybody should be able to afford. If having food in times of emergency is important to you, then you're definitely going to enjoy this video. Now, first, let's look at a couple of resources on how many calories you should be consuming a day. A lot of places are going to suggest around 1,800 to 2,300 calories per day, or 2,000, and that is a good level for maintenance. When I was a certified personal trainer, one of the rules of thumb that I used personally and also used for some of my clients was if you want to calculate how many calories you need to consume, generally speaking, to lose, maintain, or gain weight, you take your body weight and you multiply either times 10, 15, or 20. So if you're 175 pounds like me and you want to maintain your body weight, you simply multiply 175 times 15. That should be your daily intake of calories to maintain, generally speaking, where you're at right now. So in the case of trying to lose weight, you would want to take your body weight times 10, and that would give you your daily intake to reach those goals. If you wanted to gain weight, then you would want to multiply your weight times 20, and that would give you your intake to gain weight. Now we're looking to either maintain weight or really just get by. Remember, these are emergency food kits. We're looking to make sure that we can survive in case of an emergency. So I'm going to start with level 1, which only costs $100 for 50 days of food and water for one person. So the first thing on the list is rice. 20 pounds of rice costs on average about $20. And this is kind of what we're looking at. This is a sample or an example of 20 pounds. Let me just check. Yep, 20 pounds. 20 pounds of jasmine rice. Now, I like to go with jasmine over like long grain white rice, just because with the white rice, they bleach it, strip it of all the nutrients, and then they enrich it back with nutrients after they bleached it. I'm not really into that sort of thing. If that's what you're okay with, then that's totally cool, but I also personally enjoy the flavor of jasmine rice over white rice. The next thing on the list is beans. Now, beans are going to vary a little bit in price, but on average, we're gonna have to spend about $30 for 20 pounds of beans. Now, I have pinto beans, and these are really easy to cook, really easy to make. They taste pretty good with almost anything, but I wanted to give you a size reference. This right here is 12 pounds. So you're looking at a little bit over double of this, space-wise, for your $30 of beans. Now, black beans are another option. I also have black beans, I have some lentils, I have some split peas. I have a variety of things, so it's not just rice and black beans. You can get creative with it, and something you can do besides just having 20 pounds of beans is have 4 different types of beans or lentils, 5 pounds each. And that's just something that can help break up the monotony of having the same exact meal day after day after day. So we've got 20 pounds of rice for $20. We've got 20 pounds of beans for $30. We're at $50. The next thing you have to have on your list is you have to have water. If you only have rice and beans and you don't have any water to cook them in, you're gonna be sucking on a lot of dry beans and rice just to survive. Now, it's gonna vary by location, but what I have here is a package of 32 water bottles. This goes for about $5 or so, $3 to $5 depending on if they have a sale. Sometimes we'll have some 24 packs for like $3, but all in all, we're looking at 4.2 gallons for all of these water bottles. And basically $40 is gonna get you about 31.6 gallons. Now, like I said, this is gonna vary by location, by time of year, if there's been some crazy news where everyone's freaking out and buying water, but it's good to have some water on hand so you can make sure you can cook all of your food. Now, I went ahead and I already did a bunch of math for you guys, so you don't have to worry about that. If you're like me, I'm terrible at it, but I spent the time and wrote everything down so that you guys don't have to. You can simply just go off of this list and it'll get you started in the right direction. Now, with the 31.6 gallons or whatever we talked about earlier, if you take out all the water that you need to cook all of the rice and all of the beans, you'll still have left over 13 gallons of water. If you divide that by 32 ounces, a quarter gallon, that gives you 32 ounces that you can actually drink aside from the water needed to cook for 52 days. So this is why I put together this package so that for $100 you can have food and water for 50 days at least. Now, we've only actually spent $90 up until now. So what I did with the last $10 is I went ahead and threw in there 2 pounds of pink salt. Now, we don't want the iodized salt, we want the real stuff. Pink salt, Himalayan pink salt, or sea salt. A little bit of salt can go a long way, especially with a meal like rice and beans that you're having day after day after day. So throw 2 pounds of pink salt in there, about $10, and you've got yourself a $100 emergency food kit. Now, real quickly, let's just go through the breakdown just so you can see how everything works out. Just kind of put your mind at ease, and this will really help you understand how this can get you by. So first off, with the rice, 1 pound of rice equals 2.5 cups of uncooked rice. Now we have 20 pounds, so if we multiply that times 20, we get 50 uncooked cups of rice. Now for every 1 cup of rice, you add the water, and you get 3 cups of cooked rice. So now we just have to multiply 3 times 50, and we get our 150 cups of cooked rice. Now, if we take that 150 cups of cooked rice and divide by 3 meals a day, it puts us right back at 50, and that's 50 days that it will sustain us. Lastly, we're looking at about 210 calories per cup of rice, which comes out to about 630 calories per day if you have those 3 meals. And we'll come back to that later once we cover the beans. So next we're gonna look at the breakdown for the beans. We're looking at 1 pound of beans equals 2 cups of uncooked beans. Multiply that times the 20 pounds that we have, and we get 40 cups of uncooked beans. Now each cup of uncooked beans is going to yield us 3 cups of cooked beans. So we take our 40 cups of uncooked, multiply that times 3, and we get 120 cups of cooked beans. Now our math didn't work out as good for the beans as it did for the rice, so what I did is I just divided by the 50 days to make sure that it matches and we have it evenly divided for the water and the rice and the beans, and we actually get 2.4 cups of beans, cooked beans, per day. Divide that by 3 meals a day, we're looking at 0.8 cups of beans cooked per meal. Now, if we take the 218 calories per cup of cooked beans and multiply that times our 2.4 cups of beans per day, we get about 523 calories. Now, if we combine the calories from the beans and the rice together, we're looking at about 1,153 calories per day. That's not bad considering the fact that you're only spending $62.50 per month for emergency food and water. Now, maybe you're sitting there and you're like, there's no way that I'm only gonna eat 1,100 calories per day, even in an emergency situation. I totally hear you. So even if you were to double the amount of rations that you have, you're still only looking at about $120 per month for emergency food supply. And this is food that can last years if stored properly. Now, even if you have a family of 4 and you want to have full rations, so 2,300 calories per day, you're still only looking at $800 for food and water for your entire family for 50 days. That's almost 2 months. We're not looking at 30 days, we're talking 50 days. Now, maybe this seems like a little bit too much work and you just wanna go online and buy some emergency food, that's totally fine. But just keep in mind, if you're on a budget, you're gonna be looking to spend probably twice as much for half the food for half the amount of people. If you're on a budget, it just really doesn't make sense. And this can be a really fun project that you and your family can work on together. So guys, that's all there is to this $100 emergency food supply kit. Now, if this is something that you guys end up putting together, I would love it if you took pictures, tagged me at MillennialmanActual on Instagram, and tag me in those photos so I can see all the stuff that you're coming up with. If you have new ideas, ways to improve this, tag me and let me know, and I will give you credit. I hope you guys have fun with this, and I'll see you in the next video where we go over level 2 emergency food supply kit.